Explosive partial verdict in the trial of a Florida man who shot an unarmed teenager to death during an argument over loud music. The jury finding the gunman guilty of attempted murder, but they couldn't agree on the murder charge. ABC's Ryan Owens has covered the trial from the start and has the story from Jacksonville. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning to you, Bianna. The judge says he's never seen a group work harder. I was in the courtroom when the verdict was read. I don't think I've ever seen a group look so exhausted. They deliberated for more than 30 hours, but the bottom line is their final result feels like justice for nobody.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of attempted second-degree murder.
The verdict is confusing and ultimately unsatisfying to both sides. Even the protesters weren't sure what to make of it. Defendant Michael Dunn will likely spend the rest of his life in prison, but not for killing Jordan Davis. The jury deadlocked on whether the teen's death was murder or self-defense, as Dunn claimed on the stand.
I thought I was going to be killed.
It's been a long journey.
A mistrial on the murder count left Davis's parents heartbroken again.
And we will continue to wait for justice for Jordan.
The jury convicted the 47-year-old software developer of 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder for shooting at an SUV full of teens at this Jacksonville, Florida gas station in November 2012.
Oh my God, somebody's shooting!
The mother of one of those young men, Leland Brunson, released this statement. Justice has been served, but it's not complete.
Yes, ma'am.
The state's attorney is already vowing to retry Dunn on that first-degree murder charge. But the fact is, under Florida law, he must serve at least 60 years on those attempted murder charges. He'd be 107 when he got out.
He's in disbelief. It has not sunk in. Even when he sat next to me, he basically said, how is this happening?
It's sad for Mr. Dunn that he will live the rest of his life in that sense of torment, and I will pray for him.
Now here in Jacksonville, there are 12 people everybody wants to hear from. Of course, those jurors. So far, they have declined all requests for an interview. We can only hope that will change, because what a fascinating story, Dan, to hear what went on in that jury room for all those many hours.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to know what were the dynamics in there that led to this partial verdict. Ryan Owens, who, as we said, has been on this case since the beginning, we thank you. So for more now on this partial verdict that managed to surprise and sadden both sides, let's bring in our ace legal team, ABC News Legal Affairs anchor Dan Abrams, also my co-anchor on Nightline, and from Atlanta, Nancy Grace, host of Nancy Grace on HLN. Good morning to both of you. Nancy, let me start with you. Are you surprised by this verdict, and what do you make of it?
Well, I'm not surprised because you could see it coming. As early as Friday night, they were saying we're hung up on one charge, but we've got a verdict on the other charges. That clearly indicated the problem was the murder charge, because that was the only charge of the 5 charges that was really different from the other charges. Now, it's true, he's got to do 60 years because in Florida they've got what's called 10-20 life, which means if you commit an ag assault, for example, with a gun, you can't run it concurrently. It's got to be 20 plus 20 plus 20. But I'll tell you what I think happened. I think that they decided that, right or wrong, Dunn believed he was under attack by Jordan Davis, so they could not agree even on a lesser on Davis. But as to the other 3 boys in the car, that was attempted murder too. I am dissatisfied, but I'm not going to come down on that jury because they really gave it their all.
And I don't know that they believed it. It may have been a juror or 2 who believed it. I mean, look, this was a tough self-defense case. Remember that he's claiming that
it was awful,
that a shotgun is being pointed at him, and yet there is no evidence that there was a shotgun. There are witnesses from the scene who say that he was saying things like, "You're not going to talk to me that way," which is not self-defense.
Even his own fiancée said that he didn't mention a gun.
He never
to her.
mentioned a gun on the whole way back. Remember, she was inside the gas station, and so when she comes out and this has happened, he never mentions them having a gun. So this was a tough self-defense.
He actually told police that he may have imagined the gun.
Yeah.
And if you start feeling yourself feel sympathetic toward Michael Dunn, remember, he's not just the software creator, the former husband, the father. This is a guy that unloads on a car of kids, boys, who were out at a mall that night trying to meet girls, leaves, makes some drinks, orders the pizza, and goes to bed. Now, come on. You unload 10 bullets into a car full of kids,
and I think
you go to sleep?
And I think that's one of the issues is the bullets in this case that may help explain where the jurors got caught up. Because when you listen to the audio tape of the surveillance tape, which is only audio, you hear pop, 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 and then there's a pause.
You're giving me a chill, Dan.
And then you hear another.
You're giving me a chill.
You hear
that's just how it happened.
You hear another set of pop, pop, pop. And it is possible that a juror or two got caught up on whether the first set of bullets may have been self-defense with regard to Jordan Davis, and yet the other bullets that were fired, they may have felt, were simply no way to justify that, and as a result, the attempted murder charge.
It's still an imaginary gun. It's still an imaginary gun. He even said he may have imagined it.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the verdict, but I think this jury really gave it their all, and I think the state intends to retry it.
When you say you don't agree with the verdict, you mean you don't agree with the non-verdict. You do agree with the verdict. Because there was a verdict
well,
here.
I mean,
there was
they
a verdict
came back with a
charges.
verdict on 4 of the 5 counts.
Right.
But
so that is a verdict. They mistried on 1 count.
Look, hung
now,
juries,
a lot of people are saying they're not going to retry it.
They are going to retry it.
I disagree. If anybody has ever been a crime victim like myself, I want justice for Jordan Davis. Even if it's a not guilty, I want a jury trial for him, and I think they will do that.
They have said that they will do that, Nancy. And Nancy, we want to thank you and Dan for your time and analysis this morning. And it's worth pointing out that Jordan Davis would have been 19 on this Sunday had he survived that attack. Thank you both again. We really appreciate it. And Bianca, over to you.